Let me bring in Texas Congressman and Senate candidate Wesley Hunt. Congressman, nice to have you here, sir. You know, it's a great question for you, an actual conservative. It was your squishy GOP colleagues who targeted George Santos but left Jamal Bowman and Adam Schiff and LaMonica MacGyver alone. It was many of these so-called GOP New York delegation that screwed over conservative states in that big, beautiful bill with their SALT deduction betrayal, stabbing us all in the back. Since being a Republican can mean being a conservative like you and a conservative like Ted Cruz, but it can also mean being a leftist enabling squish like John Cornyn and Don Bacon. What should Americans do if your caucus doesn't hold Democrats accountable for this complete betrayal of our country?
Our caucus has to understand that this is a dawn of a new day. And President Trump, while he was running for president, he did say these words: they're not coming after you. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm the guy that's standing in their way. And now we are finding how true that rings at this point and at this stage in our country. And let me tell you something. The American people put President Trump back in office for this very reason: to not be squishy, to not revert back to our Bush-era ways, to not revert back to our Rhino ways. He wants us to fight. He needs fighters. And if the American public is paying attention to anything that's going on right now, if they are willing to spy on United States Republican senators, again, what will they be willing to do to the average American, to the average American populace, to the average American public? And what people have to understand is that we fought for President Trump. He came back to win the second election because we have got to get in line with the America First agenda, and that calls for fighters. The days of old are over, and you are correct, sir. If we don't get this right, we can lose the people of this country in the very next election, because we cannot give away the power to the Democrats. That will be a derelict of duty and responsibility that was given to us in this last election. So yes, everything you just said, I agree 100% with you. We cannot give in to the uniparty status. We have got to fight for our rights, fight for the rights of the American public, and most importantly, push back against the radical liberals that want to see us gone.
Operation Arctic Frost was right out of the Soviet Maoist China playbook. Can we afford the so-called Republicans in your caucus who still think it's 1980 and that the Democrats are all interested in remaining Americans at this point? Can we afford to have Republicans with that mindset anymore?
We cannot. We cannot, and that's literally why I am running for Senate. Those days are over, Chris, and I can hear the tone of your voice. I can hear how important and how serious this is to you. You're right. The sense of urgency is right now. Those days are over. And again, the United States Senate is not a retirement community. And when you look at the fire that Ted Cruz is just spitting out right now the last couple of days, when you look at the vigor that I have in running for this seat against John Cornyn, it's out with the old and in with the new, and this is championed by Donald Trump. This is the new American Republican Party. It is an America First, America Patriot Party. Texas went to President Trump for 15.7%. By 50.7% over Joe Biden. Let's be honest here. It's time to get on board with what we the people want us to do. And we the people want fighters. They don't want business as usual.
Well,
they don't want the status quo.
Let's pivot to the shutdown. The satire site The Babylon Bee put it best, quote, Democrats vow to starve as many food stamp recipients as it takes to get free health care for illegal immigrants. You're running for the Senate, as you mentioned. As you know, your opponent, John Cornyn, has made it a career to align with the shutdown party and the party that has weaponized government against Republicans. What would you do in the U.S. Senate to combat the shutdown, and what are you doing now as a congressman to do the same?
Well, at the end of the day, sir, we have to understand this is a case of no retreat, no surrender. We have done our part. This is the Democrat shutdown. This is the Chuck Schumer shutdown. This is what they have done by playing political games with the American public. And by God, during this time, it's time for us, and what President Trump is doing is to ensure that if you're not essential, guess what? You're going to remain not essential. We're going to use this opportunity to figure out who needs to be getting tax-paying dollars to have a job in the federal government, because the federal government is already way too big. Now, if we're talking about funding our troops, brother, they are absolutely essential. And as somebody that served this country, I can promise you that those people that are willing to lay their lives down for this country are absolutely essential. But we cannot give in. Our base does not want us to give in.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.